So this is a tutorial on Stellarium. Stellarium is some public domain software for having a kind of a planetarium on your desk. And I'll talk about it in a few contexts, but I'm just in a browser here, and so I'm going to go to stellarium.org. Hopefully that's it. And so this is Stellarium, and you can download it. It's free, and you can get it for a variety of different computer systems. I believe they've got Linux and Windows and Mac down here and stuff like that. And you can, I encourage you to download it. We'll use it occasionally. What I wanted to do first was just use it on the web, and so I'm going to Google Stellarium on the web. And you can sort of see here, it's a picture of the sky. And what I'm going to do is create an account here. I haven't done this before, and so I'll put my name up here. I'll make up a password. Okay, great. So I have an account now. I want to close that somehow. Oh, I've got to sign in. Oh, I have to go confirm via my email. All right, let me pause this. So I'm logging into the Stellarium online account. I had a little trouble creating my account, and so you may have to wrestle with that a little bit. What I ended up doing was saying I forgot my password, and then it sent me a link to change my password, and once I changed my password, it allowed me to log in. So hopefully you won't have that problem. So this is, again, this is the online version. You can get the version to download for your PC, and I'll probably give you some examples of that too. This is, so I just, really you can just Google Stellarium on the web, where Stellarium is spelled as it is up here on the line, S-T-E, or right over here on the side, you know, I found it. There it is, Stellarium. Just Google Stellarium on the web. It'll send you to a site. You can create an account, and it'll come up like this. It might ask you if it can allow, if you'll allow cookies, and I allowed it to do cookies, and so it gave me, oops, it gave me my, it got my location here. And so if you look in the lower right, you'll see that mine says Weatherford. Yours can be wherever your location is. You can set that. I think there's some options over here. You can set up a calendar, or you can set up observations. You can, if the setting is wrong, like if the location is wrong, you can click on this and put in a different location. Here I have it set to auto location, but you can search for something and select that if you want to. Down here I can set the time, and notice, so in this band, right, this is daylight, and then here is night, and then here's daylight. So this is, you know, the twilight of sunset. So I can set the time to right now. So the year is right and the date is right, and so I want to set it to, it's using local time. My local time right now is 1:22, and so that would be 13. This is in military time. And then I can set it to 22. And of course this picture isn't realistic. And if you notice, you're kind of looking through a fisheye lens here. You can click and drag. If I push the screen up like this and make that horizontal, that gives me a flatter screen. But if I want to get more of the sky in, I can push it down like that. And so I can also I can grab the sky and I can look all the way up, and there's the sun almost overhead. Notice if you look carefully in there, you can see Venus, Mercury, and the moon, and probably Mars is up in there somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. Okay, and so here I am back sort of facing west again. Obviously this isn't a realistic picture. I'm not in the middle of a field, but it just creates some sort of picture for you. So we've set the time, and so let's look at these controls across the bottom. I can go to full screen there. That's what that button does. The next button is night mode. It uses reds to help you keep your night vision. I'll leave that one off. This is deep sky objects. I'll come back to that. This puts the equatorial grid out, and so you can kind of see. Let's see, where is so this curve right here is the 0 degrees on right ascension, and so this is sorry, on declination. So this is the equator, the celestial equator. Notice that the sun and the moon and the planets are not on that. Let's see. I was still thinking I can get to see Mars, but I just don't see it in there. Here's Jupiter over here on the lower right, getting ready to set. Once again, if I look to the west, I'll see I'll sort of see them setting here in a minute. And so that's the grid. This is the azimuthal grid. Is a different grid. I won't talk about that for now anyway. I can get rid of the landscape, so now I can see right through the Earth if I want to. I can get rid of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the thing that makes the sky blue, and so if I turn the atmosphere off, now I can see the night sky, right? I can draw the constellation art in, and so I can find the constellations, and I can draw the lines for the constellations if I want. And so there are lots of things I can turn on and off, and the point of this is it's a realistic, as realistic as we can expect, and real-time view of the night sky. So I'll put my landscape back in, and now I will sort of move time forward, right? And so you'll see the sun's going down. I moved it to an hour, so we're at 1:25, we're at 2:25, we're at 3:25, we're at 4:25, we're at 5:25. Notice you can see following the sun is Venus, and then Mercury and the moon, right? As the sun is setting, we can't see them, of course, in the daytime because they're not bright enough. I'm going to make it later and later. I'm getting towards sunset. Notice here's due west, and the sun is setting north of due west, right? Because we're past the spring equinox. And one more, and now it's getting a little bit later. So I'm going to start. The sun's close to the horizon. Now I'm going to start going up by minutes, and you can kind of see. There's Mars. Finally, Mars is showing up. I knew it should be in there. I just couldn't see it earlier. And so if you go out tonight, just after sunset, what time is that? Around 9 o'clock, a little late, maybe a few minutes after 9, not too late. Venus will be on the horizon. So let me turn off the land so you can kind of see it. Here's the sun, and here's the sort of the glow from the sun. But there's Venus right there, and above it a little bit is Mercury, and the moon and Mars. If I turn off the atmosphere, you'll see here's Venus, Mercury, the moon, and Mars, and these guys will be pretty bright. You'll be able to see Venus before, and the moon. Really, now there's not much time before sunset to catch Venus, and so you really have to be in there around 9 o'clock or something like that, or just a minute or two after. Let me put these guys back up here so we can sort of see what it's going to look like with the atmosphere. There's the atmosphere, and there's the land. And so if I keep ticking forward on the minutes, you can see it's getting darker and darker. Unfortunately, that tree is right in the way. I can't do anything about that, really. So I'll just turn the atmosphere back off, I guess, and we can just recognize that that's about where the horizon is. And so if you get to the horizon, by 9:10, Venus is right on the horizon. Often there are clouds there, but you should be able to see Mercury too. And then, of course, and you can estimate these distances. Venus and Mercury are a little bit closer than Mercury is more than halfway closer to Venus than it is to the Moon, right? And about as far away from Mercury, Mars is on the other side of the Moon, and they're all pointing along a slanted line down to the down to where the sun is setting. I can go up here to, if you look up on the upper right, there's some settings in here. I can put the meridian line in. Remember, that's the line that runs from north to south through my zenith, and then I can put the ecliptic in, and that's the path that the sun takes across the sky. And notice that the planets are roughly along the ecliptic, right? If I follow this across the sky, it goes from sunrise to sunset. I'm not doing a very good job here, right? If I follow this thing on around, now I'm looking due east. If I put the land back in, you'll see my eastern horizon is right there, and so that's where the sun would rise, in principle. And and so if you go out tonight, tomorrow night, right after sunset, and you've got a look at the western sky, you should be able to see Venus and Mercury and the Moon and Mars. By tomorrow, that was a shooting star or something. All this stuff is animated, so it's not real. By tomorrow, the Moon will be somewhere around where Mars is. So the Moon treks across the sky in its sort of eastwardly motion relative to the background stars much faster than Mercury and Venus and Mars do. And so they'll appear relatively in their same places from night after night. So I'm drawing your attention to this because Mercury and Venus won't be visible after sunset for very long, and so we probably won't get to see them later in the summer. Same with Mars. We'll get a few shots at the Moon, but keep an eye on the Moon over the next few days if you can, because there's some you'll get to watch its phase. It's still a crescent right now, and it'll get higher and higher in the sky, and more of it will be uncovered. So go out tonight, 9 o'clock, look west, and see if you can find Mercury, Venus, the Moon, and Mars. And if you can, try to take some picture of them with your cell phone. It doesn't have to be great, or you can do a selfie with them or something. And I'll make a place to post them.